I did see what you did.
Way right back at you, Beth.
Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
What's going on with us, huh?
It does at a YouTube. It's like that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me today we have Ken Klarich of Ash and Ale down in Palm Coast, Florida, and special guest sitting there live with him, my dad, Jim. How you guys
Holy
doing?
shit! Who would have thunk it?
I know, right? This is fun.
This is going to be an interesting show, guys. Just hold on to your pants.
So, what have you guys been up to?
Well, good question, Jim. What have we been up to? We went to the Daytona Rolex 24-hour race this weekend.
We did.
All right. So, you guys just hung out 24 hours at the track?
Not quite so likely, but we were there. Your dad was there way more than I was. Unfortunately, we had a funeral that I was supposed to attend last night, one of our friends, and I had to leave early, so your dad drove me home, and then he went back and participated more that evening. So
well, that's dark.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
It had, you see, a funeral instead of a race. Really?
Yeah, I decisions are decisions. Unfortunately, I'm married, so my decisions get made for me.
Unless it's an immediate family member or you're wrong. That's no reason to miss a race.
I mean, no disrespect to the past, but they're not going to know you're not there.
They don't know.
Oh, look at you getting even more morbid. That was pretty good.
No, that's my boy.
I'm just saying.
Right genetics on the air. That's one little bitch, Ken. Where is he? If I were alive, I'd say something to him.
Well, today I'm not going to be smoking the same thing you guys are because for the life of me, I can't find it in all my humidors and everything. I know I have one. I know I brought it back from Ash and Ale.
Yeah, I know what happened. I know what happened. You started to clean your place up, and now you can't find a damn thing, right?
That happened. Yeah, a couple different times since I was down there. But anyway, so today I'm going to be smoking the Plascencia Cosecha 146 in the torpedo size. Features a Honduran wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Honduran Nicaraguan filler, and it comes to you from Plascencia. And you were telling me this is the one that's now out of production, not available anymore.
From my understanding, this one has been discontinued, and they brought out the 151 now to replace it.
Okay.
So
and then you guys,
and then we're going to be smoking this beautiful tubo of Partagas Maximum. This is the one that I believe you would try to explain on the air about why I carry this.
Yes.
So,
and would you like to remind the people?
No, I'll let you know. Yes, of course.
No, make them go back and listen to every damn episode for that 1 minute.
19 episodes ago, you have to go back and listen.
19.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, this cigar it's one of the only nostalgic cigars that I carry simply for the one reason: the gentleman sitting to my right. This is the cigar we smoked when we were working together in 2001 or 2000, excuse me, at Chateau Elan in Atlanta, Georgia. And this is the only cigar I can come up with, which was just given to me by a very, very famous person business-wise, but to me it became very special because he gave me a box of them personally. So it was, to me, it just meant a lot that I was able to share it with your dad.
Fantastic.
We sat outside while all of the attendees of the golf event were inside eating wonderful meals on china and drinking great wine. Yeah. He and I sat outside in the courtyard and downed an entire bottle of port. We split a bottle of port and had a couple of cigars, and that was our dinner. So,
well, fantastic.
So this is dinner.
Well, I wish I would have.
Again today. That's right.
Well, God, I hope you have something on your stomach if you're going to be going into that. But
I had one of the best hamburgers I've had in years.
Down there?
At the race? At the track, yeah. He screwed up and I got some gross little cheesesteak.
That was horrible.
And I went to this place, and burger fries and a bottle of water was like, I don't know, $36.
Fuck. Yeah.
But the burger was hot. And when was the last time you went to a food truck or a stand like that at an event, took a bite, and it actually was hot? And it was
true. typically it's just
so
like under warming lights and just kind of warm,
right,
you know?
right. No,
Yeah.
they grill. You place the order, they grill them live. Here's your burger, go. And yeah, so that's what I've had all day today, and
Okay.
now this. So
And
All
I had
right.
a really shitty Philly cheesesteak that they sat the meat in water and took all the flavor out and then put liquid cheese on top.
Ew.
Yeah, that was horrible.
You should have gotten a burger.
I should have got that was what we were going for, and
Yeah.
I talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at that Philly cheesesteak truck all day.
he was talking about it all morning. So I was like, yeah.
You're not in Philly.
So I screwed up.
You're not in Philly. You shouldn't get a Philly cheesesteak.
Right.
So that's
Right.
true. That's why I went and got a tequila shot and did a power drink as well. So
Oh, well, okay.
yeah, so I had to go fix it because it was so bad that I had to do a shot.
All right. Well, I'm going to cut my cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. And I was hanging out over there at Riverman just last evening with Mike Brinker and Miss Cindy, and we were just kind of hanging out, having a nice evening in the lounge. It was a little slow, but guys, you know, he's got all kinds of great cigars over there for you to pick up. He's got the full line of Aladino, all kinds of other, you know, fantastic cigars, lots of rare Fuentes. He's just gotten in a whole bunch of La Flor Dominicana. And if you're in the St. Louis area, you're not finding La Flor Dominicana that many places. So, you know, that's a nice little treat. In fact, he just got in these Connecticut La Flors that are very reasonably priced, and people are just going crazy for these Connecticut
Does he have the 10th anniversary?
I don't know, but see, that's the beauty. You can call Dan the Man Ponder at Riverman Cigar Company, and you can ask, and if they do, and you want it, you can have a shipment of cigars sent to you right away because he does mail orders. So, guys, if you're in the area, swing on by Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri, and it's now time to cut the cigar. See, I like how you did that. That was good.
Hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker, brother.
Little T in.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
If you call now.
For $49.95, you can get this ad.
So this is a torpedo, and I never clip off enough of the torpedo. So I it's one of those things. I either clip too much and it goes crazy, or I don't clip enough and the draw is shit. So I may have to go back and do a second cut on this. But I did my first cut.
And you did a V, didn't you?
I did not. I did a straight cut on it.
Good.
But I might. My second one might, maybe, but
a deep V.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll try it, and we'll see if it's sucking. Then I
think I told you when we were on the cruise in December.
Okay.
I bought a hand, like 2 or 3 Cubans. I bought 2 in Aruba and then the one in Bonaire. And one of the Cubans I bought in Aruba was a small little torpedo. I don't remember the brand. It's in my Cuhaba or something. Anyway, all I could travel with was a punch. Right?
Oh,
punch.
Yeah.
And I whip out my punch, and the tip of that damn cigar went into, and it didn't.
It was too big?
No, it was too small. It just went in there. It wouldn't cut. So I had to take that metal punch and like surgerize into this thing and chop off the.
This was a bad circumcision.
All shreds and all. It's like I felt bad for the cigar, and he was just like.
I wouldn't trust him to be a moil.
Torpedoes can be a difficult thing.
Not at his age. His handshake too much.
Here, let me light your cigar.
You come away a woman.
Sorry about the ponytail. I've never seen a lighter go in the back of the guy's head until right now.
Oh, well, I'm
what are you
firing
getting out of your cigar there, Nick?
Oh, this is just a nice, good, creamy, smooth cigar on the cold draw there. Now, in all fairness, I prior to getting on to record with you guys, I did my review for the Cigar Authority, like a little review team thing that they do. And whatever cigar number 7C is, that's a spicy little beast. So I'm hoping that the palate has relaxed a little bit since then. But I don't know what it is. I love finding out what they are after I submit the review and they put it out and everything. But whatever this one is, it was very spicy, but oh my gosh, it was such a great cigar. So I'm looking forward to finding out what it is so that hopefully I can get more of them. This is the part of the episode that I know you hate when I'm lighting my cigar and all you hear is that.
I'm getting that sensation when you're walking through a forest or something. You come across a dead squirrel and all the little critters have been nibbling on it. And you get that stench of a rotten carcass.
Well, that's a nice sales pitch for the party.
Nothing like that. It's a little better than that.
I would hope so.
And we've discussed this. We have discussed this. I'm useless with taste. And on top of that, I befriended a gentleman named Tom from New Jersey. Hey, Tom. And he's the same way. He said, when I turned a certain age, because I couldn't taste a damn thing, he said, I just smoke because I enjoy the sensation and the relaxation of it all. He goes, it could taste like shit, and I wouldn't tell you. He goes, I have no idea. I said, well, it smells like that. He goes, well, it may. No, it is what it is.
No, I was just going to say, I know you hate it when I'm like lighting my cigar and I'm drawing in and making that kind of noise.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk.
You do sound like you're sucking oysters.
Let's talk about that episode that I listened to on the flight down, where all I heard out of you was that one where I listened to 2 episodes. The one I think you were talking about your dating app.
Oh, I was solo for that one. I didn't have anybody to bounce off of.
Well, yeah.
I mean, in a perfect world, while I was lighting, you guys would have been talking and vice versa.
Spotify, 15 seconds.
No, I get it.
I'm just saying. There's a word for that, and I can never remember musophobia or whatever, where you hear a sound and it bugs you. It's MOSO something, musophobia or something. Anyway, so yeah, I suffer from that. I suffer about that all the time.
That's only one of the many things he suffers about, though. So we'll take it with that.
It's true. It's true. So
this is a smoke monster.
This produces a ton of.
We're gonna have the fire department here.
Well, good. I like a nice little smokestack.
Look at the friggin' thing.
Yeah. No, it's kicking off.
Against the darkness of the town. Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful, Jim. You can see that perfectly.
Well, it's in effect. Well, you can if you look at the damn camera. I'm going home tomorrow and I can't wait.
So this is the first time you've been at Ken's shop. What are the thoughts? How's it been? This is
the first time I've seen you in like 12 years.
Yeah. 12 to 14 years is our first togetherness.
Oh.
Friday night when he came into the shop, it was actually very, very, very humbling and very rewarding at the same time for me, because we've spent a lot of time away from each other, but we've spent a lot of time together on the phone, and we've gone through some hills and valleys together, and it was just very almost sentimental when I got to actually hug him and say, Jim, it was good to see you again. And I think I'll let him say on his side, but for me, having him in my store, it meant a lot for me, and it made me validate that I did good. So.
Well, that's sweet.
As you're probably more than familiar, son, being in medical products is not a sustaining career. That industry has gone through a lot of turmoil, regulatory reimbursements, things like that. And so and you know that. Well, I've changed jobs. Companies come, companies go.
Just let them know we're recording.
Some fail, and it just is what it is. And there are those ebbs and flows. You have those great years, and then you have the ones where you want to get a job again. Then you get that other, and you do startups, and you do failures, and you do this, and you do that. And it is what it is. And it was through those times we always stayed in touch. He had the same thing. He had a great job at a wonderful golf resort and whatever, and changes come, ownership change or whatever it may be, whatever. And just shit happens. And he would go down for a while as always, and we just kind of did that with our careers and our lives at that point. And having a commiserate is a critical factor. Having somebody who has no investment in your life other than caring is valuable. So in all candor, I'm going to get emotional here. Seeing what he's accomplished and knowing where he's come from and where he was and the shit he went through in his life, to walk into a shop like I'm in right now, this is nice. And I couldn't be more proud of him. I mean, I'm all 11 years older than you.
11 years.
But you're kind of like a weird son. But to see what you've accomplished, I could not imagine, and I told him this the other day, certain people and I'll never understand how this works, but certain people are placed on the earth and they find that reason, and I'll give you examples. Michael Jordan, only reason God put him on this earth was to play basketball, and the kid found it out and he did it. Tiger Woods, only reason Tiger Woods was ever placed on this planet is to play golf. And there are certain people where you hear their name and you're going, yep, that's what he should do. That's it. Ken Klarich should have always owned a cigar lounge. I mean, he had all those other jobs, all those experiences, but if there is a hand in glove fit for a chucklehead individual for a particular job, I couldn't think of a better one. I mean, the way he understands wines and hospitality and cigars and bullshitting with strangers, making everybody feel like they belong. This is probably the best place on earth that this guy could have ever been. So I'm not saying that you're Michael Jordan, but
no, I can't jump. I'm full. Yeah,
but,
I can't do that.
Well, white guys can't jump, but he's where he belongs, and I'm immensely proud of him. I think this is going to be that stake in the ground. So good on you.
But I mean, every experience, gives you that little something that you then build on and move forward on. And so, to your point, all of Ken's prior hospitality experience and this and that and whatever. I mean, it led him to the point of having the knowledge base and having the experience to be able to do what, if 25-year-old Kenn would have started Ash and Ale, would it be the same place that it is now? Probably not,
I don't think he could have done this 10 years. We're talking about you like you're not here. Couldn't have done this 10 years ago. Sometimes when you go through jobs and job changes, knowing and learning what not to do is more important than learning how to do
100%
and what to do. There's a lot of mistakes you make and you go, damn, I'll never do that again. And and we've both done that. I mean, all the startups that I've done, all the products that I launched and brought to the market. Most recent one, I went through the whole patent. I awarded the patent on the thing, which nobody seems to care about but me, because getting a patent is a difficult thing on a product that was invented back in 1892. A new version of something like that. All those little things that you learned all along the way, you learn how to navigate from. Either you go that way or you don't go that way again, and it's all valuable. And that crossword puzzle of career is what brought him into sitting here right now, I think. So cool on you.
Very much so. I totally agree. I think if I would have done this, actually, I think I could have done this 10 years ago, but 20 years ago, no. If I was in my 20s again, I probably could have done it, but it would have been, well, I can't say that. I had one in 1993. So 91 through 93, I had a cigar lounge, and it went well, but I sold it. So it was a great learning spot for me. Gave me something to seed, and then to figure out that's what I wanted to be, and that's why I'm here.
So compare that shop from 91 to 93 to what you've got today. Like what differences, similarities, what that sort of thing.
Experience, life, understanding life, and 24 years of being older. Because
I hate to say it, it's like 30 years, bud.
Okay, fuck off. But anyways,
he acts a lot older than he is, and he looks a lot older than he acts in time. He is a paradox of life.
I'm just saying, it's 2024, not 2014. So
that's a good point. 30 years,
and he has a ponytail like a 12-year-old little girl. I don't get that, but hey, good on him.
It is what it is.
Well, we discussed that yesterday. It's going to be a big comb forward thing.
See, he's thinking ahead.
A flopador.
Exactly. I want Trump. No. But my point was, being at 25 years old, I couldn't have done what I'm doing now because of the people. You've met a lot of my members when you were here. Being 30 years younger, it would never have been able to happen where I would have met those guys like I did and became friends like I did. The age definitely helps this industry. Being young in this industry and being an owner of something is very challenging, in my opinion, because there's not enough young people who do smoke and who frequent the facilities. I would love for that to happen, but that's something we're trying to still work out in brick and mortars.
Well, I think
it's getting better.
Yes, I think the problem that you've got there, and I think it's just a fact of life, is that the disposable income doesn't come until the 30s. And so you don't get people that have the disposable income to be able to come in and essentially light $10 or $20 or however much on fire and sit and just, enjoy it. And so I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to see like a massive influx of 20 somethings come in. But 30s maybe.
The 30s would be nice, but also, again, I think they're a little more intimidated, some of them, because of the anti-socialism that they have, being socialized with COVID, and before that, even with technology and being grown up in front of computers.
Yep.
Getting out and sitting around with some folks that be your age or even older, it makes them a little more uncomfortable. So that's something I would love to see change in the industry.
You mean I have to talk to people? My God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I'm glad I have my stepdaughter working with us. She's 23 years old, and she brings in people who are younger in age that kind of change our dynamic and our whole way of looking at things. But it also gets some younger life in here talking to these older guys that we can change some of the conversations that we have on a day-to-day basis.
For sure.
So it's a really neat dynamic when you have the younger guys coming in and showing interest. Because the older guys love teaching. And it's just a great way of the rapport in a cigar shop, as we've talked about on your show before. It's so unique that there are no barriers. Once you walk into the shop, everyone's on common ground. Everyone's equal. So it just becomes so much more natural to talk and to explain and teach. It makes life very, very easy.
Definitely. So, have you been smoking around the humidor there at the Ashenale? What have you had that you've enjoyed? I mean, aside from the Partagas there, I assume.
Real quick before I get to that, I have that. When I got here the other night and he introduced me, I'm Nick's dad. No shit. This isn't Jim. This isn't my old. Oh, you remember Nick was here? Yeah. This is Nick's dad. Oh, nice to meet you. What's your name? I'm following you around. You're like a friggin' celebrity. You're like a friggin' celebrity. You know what I'm talking about?
I did get there. I did get there 3 months before you, so that's true.
Right?
Yep.
Right? So yeah, I enjoyed that, frankly, because you're memorable, I guess. But shit, there was like a half a dozen more people. This is Nick's dad. Oh yeah, Nick. It was funny.
That is fun.
Anyway. We had a Ditty the other night.
We did.
And it was good. I like that one a whole bunch of. Yeah.
He had the Connecticut DDA and had a fantastic.
That thing went forever too.
Yeah, we smoked it. You were that one. But that one's made for the golf course. It's made to burn for now 45 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one worked me for like a couple of hours.
Yeah. He came in right around 5:30ish, 6 o'clock, and we went to dinner, came back, and we smoked that from like 7:30 till 10 o'clock almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a great time. Sat here, he got to meet a lot of the guys that you met from the group.
Yeah.
And some people that were new in and everything. So, and he didn't run them up, which surprised the fuck out of me.
I tried everything. I really did. I hit him with all my best lines, and the bastard stayed. I couldn't believe it.
So, but in just a few minutes, I actually have one of my members here that's in the place with me that I'm going to ask to come on. And you asked a question, and he was at the time in his 30s when he met us. So I'm going to actually let him answer your question. Now that he heard my answer, I want to let him say if I was right about that, because he was a very special connection to us. He came into the family very quickly. Well, I call my family the shop very quickly, and I'm going to let him explain why and how that happened. So, if you're okay with that,
yeah, go ahead.
Come on over here, Justin.
It's a party.
Yeah, go that way.
All right. Justin's going to stand behind us because of the way we're situated. It'll be a little easier.
What's up, man?
Hey, Nick, nice to see you again, brother.
That's
good to see
sad.
you.
How you guys doing?
That the guy has to stand. This is wrong.
Hey, so
Yeah,
the youth, I can still stand. I've got the youth on you.
I'm Nick's dad, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
I heard the
So how's
stories
it
about
going?
you. Ken and I sit by the docks and smoke cigars all the time. He tells me the stories about you guys sharing that bottle of port and closing down the resort and everything.
Okay, now he's sitting. So there you go.
Okay.
So,
Now we don't have to come.
This is nice.
Okay, so Justin, speak up since you're a little away from the computer there, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
All right. Can you hear me now?
I got you.
All right, loud and clear.
So go ahead and explain to him, if you don't mind, the way we got introduced to each other.
Okay, so this is a little emotional story. Where we're at with the lounge, we're in a little resort. It's called European Village. There's shops and little things right now. With old hotel rooms that became apartments. I went through a lengthy divorce, moved in these apartments. I didn't know anybody around here. We're just kind of going through life. The cigar shop before Ken took it over was never open, ever. Like, I could barely get in here, buy a cigar. You couldn't smoke in here. COVID was, just getting over. So I'm walking home from work to my apartment, just kind of in a daze. I look over and I see an on sign, open. I see a new sign, instead of humidor, it says Ash and Ale. Okay, I'll go over there and get a cigar. So I walk in, Ken and his wife are sitting outside. Another couple who are now great friends, but they're sitting outside. Technically, they just closed, but he didn't turn off the sign. So I show up, he goes, hey, welcome, you want a cigar? Want to get a beer? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I walk in, pick a cigar, get a beer. They said, oh, come sit down with us. We'll have a smoke and just talk. So I sit down with them, and within 20 minutes, the other couple's telling me their life story, family secrets. We're just like instantly became friends, like God ordained it. And I've never left since. And it was special because I was in a very bad place in my life, going through the divorce, didn't really have much going on. And now I have a family, and with Ken, I spend holidays with this man. Like when I say I'm going to my family's house for holiday dinner, it's with this guy. So this place, when he was talking earlier about how God put somebody on earth for certain things, I feel like Ken Klarich was put on earth not only for Ash and Ale, but for me. So this place is the most special cigar lounge in the world.
That's awesome. I love hearing
hard
that.
For the feels, but there you go.
No, I love hearing that.
That's nice.
Thank you, man.
And this was it was only the second night we were open. So that after I took over. So it was very close to the time I took over. I opened it up the day before. It happened to be day 2 that we met Justin.
That's awesome.
So
it was awesome.
Yeah. So, but as your dad said, I think I was placed here to do some things like this. And I'm not being conceited or anything like that. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I've always looked for. I'm really good at putting people together. I take them, find their strength, and put together with other people and make a strong relationship between them and myself. So this is a perfect kind of opportunity for me to do that and help my 24 members and everybody else I interact with here.
If only all the shop owners, and I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but if only all the other shop owners, kind of had that same kind of mentality, because I mean, there's different types of owners. There's the ones that open it up and it's a business, man. They are there to make money and everything else. Then there's those that, open it up and it's a clubhouse and maybe they don't really have the business sense, but they're there to have a clubhouse for themselves and their buddies and that sort of thing. And then there's some that open it up mainly because they just need a job, and they're just making themselves a job. I think the sweet spot is probably a mix of all three. And if you can really accomplish that, then I think you've got something going on there. And, obviously your place is a business. It's there to give you a job and give you some revenue and an income and everything. But it also has the clubhouse atmosphere where you've built out that family and everybody's kind of getting close and whatever. And I think that's really nice.
So no, I think it works out really well. The guys who do that are part of the family as well, and you've met several of those. Your dad got to meet a few the other night. So it's taking off and it's growing. Hopefully that I can stay blessed and have it keep growing.
There you go. Well, in terms of the humidor, have you added anything since I've been there?
I have added a few new lines. A company called Bravada. I've added. They have a cigar. They have several cigars that are blended to go with specific different liquor, like cognac, bourbon, scotch, tequila, and rum. That are very good. They also have specialty lines that have become very popular. One of them is called the Blue Cheese, and right now is probably one of my best-selling cigars. I've had it in the shop for 3 weeks, and I've sold 8 boxes of it already.
Okay.
I've got another one called Kings County, which is a very good one. I've got another one called the Mad Monkey, which is a very dark, strong cigar. And I brought that one in because of, I think everyone, if you've seen me before, I think I've talked about one of my employees whose name is Monkey.
Yep.
So I brought him in his own cigar. So the lines have done well. I have added, who else have I added since you were here? I brought in a few more lines of Barriotega from Michael. I brought in the Metropolitan line, and I'm waiting for one more line to come in. Other than that, I believe I've increased my lines of Aladino, and I will be going to the Aladino factory here in about 3 weeks.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, 2 weeks after, 2.5 weeks after I get back from Vegas, seeing you in Vegas in a few days, I'll be going to Honduras for 5 days.
Very cool. And yeah, just for full transparency to the listeners, once again, I am still pre-recording in anticipation of my trip to Vegas. So by the time you listen to this, I will have been to TPE. I will have seen Ken in Vegas, and we will have had some fun and looked at a lot of cigars. And then next episode, after this episode, you'll get my TPE recap with all the interviews and all the information of what I pulled back from Vegas. So, that's
Let me
coming
ask
up.
you a question about that.
Yeah.
I know why you're going. What do you hope to get out of TPE?
As I said with PCA, I'm looking for it as an educational, because I've never done it before, so I want to understand why they're there.
You're looking for more lines. You're looking to reinforce relationships with existing lines.
Both. Actually, I'm trying to do both. I want to find. I'm still looking for 2 specialty lines that I want to bring in that I'm really comfortable with.
Sure.
I'm also wanting to bring in one more line from the Dominican because I only carry very limited Dominican lines.
Why does that matter?
Because I have several folks that come in all the time, and some of my regulars who like the Dominican blends better than the Nicaraguan blends, and I want to have that a variety for them.
Do you think most people know the difference between one or the other? That it's enough to justify shelf space? Or are you doing it just for your 1 or 2 people?
No, I'm doing it because of that. I only have 2 other lines that are Dominican right now.
Right.
I want to have a third, maybe a fourth, just so I can get a little more of a balance.
Sure.
I think it's important for people who are learning to smoke cigars to try different ones.
Right.
And the way Justin will probably better explain the way I teach. I figure out what you like, and then I recommend things off of what you like. And if they prefer a Dominican over a Nicaraguan, I'm not going to push something that I don't believe that you're going to like. Never have, and I never will. Right. So I want to make sure you stay in your wheelhouse until you're comfortable enough to change out of that.
Right.
So to me, it's almost like an experience smoking, and your experiences have to be good or you're not going to continue.
Got it.
And this guy can remember flavor profiles. I think of all the 25 members or so that we have, he knows every one of our profiles. And some of them are really complex. Like mine is a whole rap sheet long, and he knows the whole thing. So it's incredible. I can walk in, Ken, what am I smoking? And he'll look around and think, and then just give me the perfect cigar. It's awesome.
A good tobacconist will know their customers and know what they smoke. I mean, like Cindy over at Riverman, it's so funny watching, people come in and they will ask for her because they'll say, I don't know what I smoke, but Cindy knows what I smoke. And, she'll say, you smoke this, or, if you like, we're out of that, but you'll like this one instead, and that sort of thing. And that's key. I mean, if a shop has a really good tobacconist, they can do that. They can bounce you around the humidor and make sure you get what you want. And that's important because the last thing in the world you want is to go in as a consumer and get something that you're not going to like. You don't know you're not going to like it. Tobacconist might know you're not going to like it, but then if you get sold something you're not going to like, you're going to be like, well, why did they let me buy that?
Right.
And so then it could be a negative experience in the shop. So, a good tobacconist will make sure that you get what you want.
Funny thing that you said right there was because putting it to my situation, because of where we are, we've got a lot of snowbirds. So I have to remember people's things for up to 6 to 9 months because they're only down here for 2 to 4 months at the most when they're down here. So when they come back the following year, when they walk in the door, I have to remember what they've smoked. I don't know when they're coming back in. So when they come back in, I literally look at them and go, oh, crap, what is he smoking? And I've got to remember. And so hopefully they can throw me a bone and say, yeah, I really liked this last time. But if they don't, then the memory's not as sharp as it used to be, but it's still there.
I mean,
That's
the other thing with
impressive.
snowbirds is you don't know if they're going to be coming back.
Right, exactly.
You know, so how are you getting new customers to replace those dead ones? Oh,
No,
God, I'm a
now that's
snowbird.
actually an industry-wide issue. You know,
Yeah, see,
there are
and
definitely
that,
some
that
shops.
brings back to what you were talking about before, is how do you get that next generation coming up to say, yeah, I think I will smoke. Yeah, because it's a dying,
I was
so-
actually just talking with a cigar rep the other day, and we were talking about this and how, you know, I don't know how things are going for you, but right now, you know, seemingly across the country, small business, they're taking a hit. That includes cigar shops. And so you have these cigar shops that are saying, you know, like, man, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, why is this slowed down and that sort of thing. And the cigar shops that have found ways to think outside the box and you know, do some different stuff, they're at least holding steady and seeing progress. But the ones that have been around for 50 years and they've done things the same way for 50 years and they've got the same customers for the last 50 years, you know, they're sitting back going like, we're really hurting. And it's like, well, no shit. Your customers are dying. Like, it's just part of life.
And you're not doing anything different
to attract new people. Precisely.
It's painful to change what you're doing.
It is.
So, yeah.
And as you get older, it's more challenging to do it because it's painful for not only them that you're making a change for your customers, but for you, it's very painful because you get set in your ways when you set up a shop and you want things done. One of the things that I did was the shop was set up for 17 years before I bought it. And I literally changed one little thing by moving my cash register from sitting right where over here in the right corner over to the left side, right next to my bar. And it has made a world of difference for everybody. Us made our lives easier because it put me closer to the beer and the wine, and it didn't have to cross the store 3 times to get someone to drink and ring them up and all of that. But for them, it opened up the whole store and it made it a totally different personality. So it's little things that you can keep doing, and you don't have to do everything at once. Progress slowly. That way, people can accept the change and understand it, and then keep seeing the change, and it makes it a lot easier.
Well, and don't be afraid to experiment. You know, it's like if you have an idea, try it out. If it doesn't work, you can always cut it off. I mean, that's the thing. You hear about this all the time in business. How, you know, you as a single cigar shop, you're nimble. You can make a change, and if it doesn't work, you can cut it off quickly. Whereas like big corporations, you know, they move like battleships. It takes forever to turn, and then it takes forever to readjust. You know, and so, you know, you can do something different. Try it. If it doesn't work, move on with life.
Exactly. But the ability to change and let change happen is very critical for small brick and mortars. So, and I'm seeing that right now, especially with the beers I'm ordering.
Yeah.
People are coming in. I've got a whole bunch of new people that I've never seen before, want different kinds of beers, and I'm having to bring in a whole bunch of different stuff that I've never carried before. So it's, for me, that's like, I don't really want to bring it in, but is this what they're going to start buying? So if they are, then yes, it's the right thing, and I need to keep growth going.
Oh, these kids nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
My God.
Damn craft beer.
These damn kids.
You guys do any IPAs?
I don't like stores with a register by the front door. It's like they have a sentry, and when you leave, they go, "Oh, you're not buying anything." I don't like it. It's like a guarded station.
You saw
it's less intimidating on the side.
You saw my store with the cash register next to the bar, right?
Yeah.
So just prior to that, I think I showed you where it was before, right at the front door. And
yeah, it's
like,
in that
I had a little
front window
area that was like an office, basically, that was open aired office. But with the door being not blocked now, I can get people to come in and out. I can literally almost double my volume.
Yeah.
Not to mention it was a choke point during holidays, like last New Year's. Oh my God. We couldn't even get in and out to like clean ashtrays for people. They were just waiting to pay and everything. It was brutal.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I will say your shop, it's not so much, it's kind of that way, but it's just kind of that way by necessity. I tend to not like the shops where you have to walk the gauntlet, you know, go through all the chairs where everybody's sitting and everything like that in order to get to the humidor. Because, you know, I've been in plenty where you walk in the door and the humidor's in the back and all the guys are sitting there, and everybody, when you open that door, they're like, looking right at you. And now it's like new guy walking through, and all that. But I mean, obviously, I know with layout, it's kind of a necessity with your place, but that also goes to your client base. If your client base is nice and friendly and everything, it's no big deal. Some of these places, the ones that are just personal clubhouses, those are the ones where you walk in and it's kind of awkward for a minute.
Yeah, I totally agree. That if I could change one thing, I think I would change where my front door would be. Because I am with you. Walking into my shop can be a little intimidating because I added an extra new couch since you've been here. Right as you walk in the door, right literally to the left as you walk in my door, there's a new leather couch.
Oh.
So 2 seats. So that gets more people because where the 2 wooden tables were with the 4 chairs.
Yeah.
This is right before you even get to those. So
okay.
When you do walk in, it can be at night on a Friday, Saturday, Thursday night. It can get a little intimidating for people, but our membership and our customer base is so nice and so warm and welcoming that it's really impressive to watch these guys embrace the new folks that come in.
The hot tub is a good idea.
The hot tub was a really good idea.
I think it's kind of awkward at first, but I think it's going to grow on that.
And the neighbor upstairs really doesn't mind when I retract the stripper pole too.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
They got a lot in the works.
I was going to say. Saturday night fun night at Ash and Ale.
That's Sundays after hours, guys.
Now coming to the stage, it's Justin.
Justin's the bodyguard for that.
And we'd like to introduce the bouncer.
Oh, okay.
So I have a question. Put you on the spot.
Oh boy.
You know the demographics of your listeners?
I kind of do. I mean, to the extent that I can pull them from my social medias and that sort of thing, and I can tell you geographically where people are based off of the
ages, mostly things like that.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to hear who's listening to you, who's listening to podcasts on cigars compared to who cigar customers are, and kind of correlate. Are you getting a younger? Because let's be honest here.
Oh, I can guarantee you I'm getting
podcasts are not for guys my age for the most part.
I was just about to say I can guarantee you I'm getting a younger demographic than
podcasting is that, whatever age group. And if they're listening to cigar podcasts, one would well assume that they're smoking cigars, at least intermittently.
You would hope so.
And I would also
I don't know if that crosses over.
I would also assume that it's the nerdier of the cigar smokers that are the guy that's having one cigar every couple of weeks or one a month or something like that. They're not going to be seeking out like a cigar podcast to sit and listen to. It's the people that are, multiple times a week, sometimes daily, those are the cigar smokers that are probably going to be seeking out, cigar podcasts.
That'd be an interesting thing at TV is you chuckleheads go around that show talking to the companies, ask them if they know the demographic of their customer. And they'll tell you whether or not this company's got a grasp on society.
That's actually a really good point for you because you're going to be talking to so many people. That might be an interesting and dangerous game, and it's almost like a game of Russian roulette. You really don't want to put people on the spot when you're doing those quick interviews, but you also want to find out if your dad's right, if they do understand the clientele base.
It's maybe a question for off air, but still a question that's valid. Yeah.
But then you can come back and report it and say, hey, after talking to these guys, I've understood. Now this is what we found out.
For sure.
I'm gonna name a name, and I'm probably stepping over a line here, but you know me, I don't care.
Okay.
If I just sit back and I look at the people that I'm aware of in the industry, right?
Yeah.
I look at Michael Herklot.
Yeah.
And the persona that he's conveying of his business, of himself, of the cigar line. It tells me that he's after a particular clientele. The people who would care about his presence, and I admire the guy. I mean, this guy is panache. He presents himself straight like you would expect he should, coming from where he came from.
Yeah.
I would contest that his target customer would not be the guy that just bumbles in and buys whatever Macanudo or whatever. You know, in the company executives, and now I'm getting into I'm getting into philosophy of culture, corporate stuff bubbling out of me again. Corporate culture comes from executives. All right. How that CEO carries himself is how the guy below him carries himself. You always want to emulate the guy above you.
Yeah.
Okay. And how that guy at the top conveys his message, his image, his vocabulary, and all is the corporate culture. And that presents yourself to who your customers are. They want a position with people like that. And I'd be curious. Some of the companies out there, and I'm not going to get into judgmentalism. Some of the companies out there I would contest are not Michael Herflock's guys. You know, those products are not going to go to a Metropolitan line or some of the other lines.
Stereotape.
Right.
Kindness.
And I'm intrigued by the demographic of it all, and our companies, you know, zigging and zagging when they're completely missing their mark by who they are, how they look, how they talk, how they talk.
It's very possible.
I mean, that's a whole study. You could have a market research study on the industry. Nobody's going to do that, but I'm just curious about that now because I never really thought through that. There are certain products I look at them and I go, I don't know. Heck, the guy's an asshole. You know, there are products that I've dropped. There are products that you know that we don't use in the household anymore because of events that happened in 2020. I'm not dealing with that company ever again.
Yeah.
We use their products up to that point. Look at Bud Light. Shit.
Yeah.
It took one idiot in Bud Light to destroy half of the company. And and today I had the choice. All the Anheuser-Busch products, I went with Michelob Ultra. Not because I necessarily like Michelob Ultra, but I'm not going to drink Bud Light yet.
Yeah.
You know, so
they're still trying to figure out their marketing.
Presence of the guys in the company in the booth at TPE will tell you who their customer targets. I'm intrigued by that now. The more I think about it.
Well, you know something, Jim? You should come join us in TPE so we can.
I'm not allowed in Vegas anymore.
You should. Oh, that's true. I do remember that list on College Wall.
It's a federal thing, and I know that.
Nick, you might want to change your last name for the week.
I've been to Vegas.
See, I'm allowed. I've put at least a floor or two on some of those casinos with the losses and whatnot. So like, no, they like me out there. Now I'm not planning on doing any gambling.
I enjoyed Vegas for 48 hours, and then I got to get out of there. I'm not a gambler, as you know. I go out there with a dollar in my pocket. I come home. I don't gamble. Don't care. Don't give a shit. I don't care if other people do. I'll stand and I'll watch them. I'm not a Vegas guy. So
I generally
restaurant, maybe a show, but I'm out of there.
I generally agree with
Angel Park is a great golf course in Vegas. It's a public course.
Yeah.
It's a muni. It's not Shadow Creek. It's cheap, but it's a hell of a track.
So, hey guys, before we go any further, I want to say thank you to Justin. I know he has to run and go get his kids for the evening. So
take it easy, buddy.
Good luck, you guys.
Appreciate
good
you
to see you,
Justin.
Good night.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Gervais. His personal rule is with Vegas is 72 hours on the ground and then out, you know, and I feel like that's a good sweet spot. I'm doing a little more this trip. Typically with TPE, I fly out on Tuesday and I fly back like on Friday evening.
You do like a red
after
eye
and maybe not quite a red eye, but later, like at 7 p.m., you know, but this year I opted to go ahead, stay Friday night and leave Saturday.
Well, you know, you're getting older and growing up a little bit. You know?
I mean, you know, it's costing me another night of the hotel, but
I'm doing the red eye on Friday night. So
you're getting back at like fucking 6 a.m., which is just like gross. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Getting back.
I arrived back in Jacksonville. I got to Atlanta, I think at 4 a.m. I got a connection at 5:40 to Jacksonville. And then Jacksonville, I'll be getting home around 6:30. And then I've got to drive another hour and 20 minutes back home. So
yeah, and then you're wasted that whole day at that point.
But you see, I used to do that shit with conventions. And when you red eye home, you're expected to be at your desk that morning by the 8 o'clock meeting that you're attending.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many West Coast conventions resulted in red eyes to be at that meeting. So yeah.
So what do you think of that 146?
I'm digging it. I'm getting into the. I'm either in or getting into the second third. It's just a nice, smooth, good cigar. I mean, I love Plascencia so much, but
I figured it might have been a little too mild for you because you like a little more of the medium plus sticks.
yeah, it's milder, but but I Plascencia is one of those brands that even with the more milder ones,
they still have flavor.
They're so good.
Yes.
And the flavorful and the construction on them, they're just so good that I don't mind, like this one is one of those ones that I the last time, I think, maybe not the last time, when you and I spoke to Plascencias on the show, the one time I had that gift pack that I'd bought. This one came out of that. So, price point wise, this one might be a little more if I would have bought it individually, but getting it in that, it was a nice deal. So
very good.
And you guys are liking your Partagas?
I love this.
This is a really good smoke. It's a lot stronger than I typically smoke, but for who's here and why we're doing it, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And it goes really well with the Irish whiskey.
Do you have Irish whiskey too?
You can drink real stuff on the air.
And I'm closed, so it's not illegal.
Well, there you go. Well, I don't care. Well, very cool. Well, why don't we do this just to get the business portion out of the way? It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. My coffee has gotten very cold in the tent.
I noticed that. It's a coffee cup. You're drinking coffee.
Yeah, I do. In fact, I got these. They're really big. They're like almost like the soup cup kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lord, you don't even like coffee.
No, that's my boy.
No,
if I can just get you up to a minimum of 10 cups a day,
you can be like your dad.
You're in my ballpark.
Well, no, see, that's the thing.
I was at 30 a day for a while.
With this giant mug,
it's like a double cupper.
Yeah, this is like a double mug. So, like, on the pot when you pour it out of the, I can make a full pot.
Coffee?
Yes.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
I set you up for a perfect spot.
Yeah, I'm being honest. Yes.
No, but as long as it's not Folgers or Maxwell House,
Pete's,
you're okay.
Pete's. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was on sale at Target. So
it works.
That's like a foul tip.
But
right.
no, what was I gonna say? No, when I make a full pot, I can get 3 full mugs out of a full pot with these big giant mugs. So yeah. So
look at you.
It's probably a little creamered up more than you would like, but such is life.
Since he drinks it black, I'm sure it's a lot more creamed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a new coffee maker. This one has a timer now. So now I can set it and forget it, and it'll be ready in the morning. And
I've always had those with timers, and I've never worked the timer.
It took you how many years to grow up to get one of the big boy coffee pots?
I'm so proud. Yeah.
But it's got a button. It says strong, so you do that, and it does something else to make. If you want your coffee stronger, you push that button.
And it probably has a heat thing too, where it's like hot and medium. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, okay.
As long as you're good at playing with buttons, that's good.
I'm good at buttons. Yeah, I can figure out the buttons.
Got an app on his phone where he can program.
Not an app.
No, I don't. It's not that fancy. This was only a $40 coffee maker.
Yeah, we're not spend a lot of money on a coffee maker.
No.
Let's get back to the entertainment report.
I was gonna say entertainment report. Look
Sorry,
at Ken
Renee.
keeping the show on track. Anyway, so what have you guys been entertained by lately?
We have been binge watching, and when I say binge watching, I mean like there's I don't know 12 seasons of a show called Doc Martin.
Oh, one of my favorites. I love that show.
And we didn't talk.
We've never even brought this up.
No.
Oh, this is the BBC one.
It is PBS.
It's British humor. Janet has been big on the British thing. I mean, U.S. comedy, and we talked about this. Sitcoms fight. you go to British humor, it's subtle. It's whatever, right? Doc Martin it's been on about 10 or 12 seasons. And the whole premise of the show is there's a guy who used to be a surgeon in London, but he didn't like the sight of blood. Made him good. And so he became a general practitioner in this little village, a little tiny town on the water in another place in Britain. And it's a town of a lot of sarcastic, little annoying. They want to know everything about everybody's business, kind of a little town. And he's a no bullshit. And you think I'm a curmudgeon? This guy, I could learn from this guy.
He's on the spectrum somewhere there, so.
Oh, yeah, this guy's on.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's just the humor is just like, whoa, where'd that go? And you slap your ass.
And you don't see it coming because most of the time you have to stop and think and go, holy shit, that was great.
Oh, he snaps at his patient. You know, perhaps I owe you an apology. Well, yes, you do. You know, cut him off at the ankle. And he'll say what he thinks when he thinks it about you. And off he goes.
Yes.
And that show has just been funny as hell. And I think we watched pieces, went back and got season 1, and now we're going season.
Yeah.
He got some young lady pregnant. She's the head of the school now.
And she's a very, very famous British actress that's in a lot of other shows.
And he's always insulting her. How did he end up getting married some season 5 or what the hell? I don't know. I'd tell him to go to hell. But this show has just been absolutely entertaining. Anybody out there who wants to watch something of just very good, subtle humor, look up Doc Martin, Martin. The lead character is ugly as sin.
Yeah, he's
big ears. He's got
like a fish.
11 ears. He's like, who would find him attractive? He's always wearing this proper suit and tie. He's a tall son of a bitch, so he ducks through every doorway he goes through, because in old England, all the doorways are like 5'5". And so yeah, we've been all over Doc Martin. And only beyond that, we watched season 2 of The White Lotus.
Okay, I have not watched season 2 of The White Lotus because I watched season 1.
Yeah.
And I watched season 1, and by the end of it, I was like, why the fuck did I watch that?
I know that.
Nothing happened.
What a pathetic group of people.
Yeah, it was just kind of pathetic, and I was like, man, this is leading up to something. And then it got to it, and I was like,
and it never did.
Boring. It was kind of meh. It was like a fart in church. Right. It really wasn't all that impressive. And so I didn't understand the love for that show. Everybody was like, oh my God, it's so great.
Season 2 is no damn different. Only they're in Italy. All right. Yeah. And it's a pathetic little group of people. And you're watching this going, I hate that son of a bitch. She's stupid. And the bumbling idiot character, whatever, Jennifer Coolidge, she's in it again. And all of a sudden you get halfway through and you're going, where is this going to go? and finally when it ends, you're going, damn, did not see that one coming. And now they're filming season 3 in Thailand. That's not supposed to come out until 2025. And here's a little tip, a little spoiler. Do you remember in season 1, the masseuse at the resort? She set her up in business and all that.
Yeah.
She's in season 3. I have no idea how it got there and why she's in Thailand, but that character reoccurs in season 3.
Okay.
So each season has to do with something. What I surmise, one season has to do with, like, I don't know, wealth and bullshit or whatever. The other has to do with, sexuality and whatever. And season 3 has to do with, like, your religious beliefs and your faith and things like that, and how you perceive the world and blah, 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 blah. And that masseuse shows up in that episode, in that next thing coming out in 25. But yeah, season 2 ends and you're going, oh,
yeah.
Damn. How'd they kill her off? There's your spoiler. Why did they kill her off? She was the star. But the way she dies is great. It's perfect for her. So yeah, White Lotus. I sat through it. I actually watched it because usually I don't watch TV.
HBO is one of I like some of their shows, but man, every once in a while some come along and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this. Like, and it's funny because it's one of those shows where, like, I think you said it, there's just nobody that's very likable.
Right. They're all assholes. And they're either an asshole or they're stupid, naive.
And Succession was one of those shows too. I started watching that and I was like,
gave up on that years ago. Nothing about that. I like the old man, and that tells you all you need to know about me and Succession.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like everybody in that show was an asshole too. But at some point, I got invested in what they were doing to where the fact that they were assholes, I was kind of like, ah, whatever. And then some of the quirks, I would at least like some of the quirks. But yeah, at the end of it, you're just like, yeah, they were all jerks. So
yeah, that show hit too close to me career-wise.
Yeah,
because every character in there, I knew them. I worked for that guy. I know that little prick. I know that son of a bitch because he's the he's funding the company. And there are certain shows, son, that I don't find watchable or funny anymore. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's not funny.
Because you've been that guy.
Because at the time I traveled my ass off, and that's not funny. Yeah, I've had cancellations. I've had rented. I flew back from Munich one time, landed in Chicago, missed my flight, and ended up renting a friggin' car and driving the rest of the way to Indianapolis, getting home at 3 in the morning after however many hour flight.
Yeah.
So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to me is an endearing movie, but it's just not funny. And Succession, I couldn't watch it because it was too close to home.
Yeah.
And certain shows are that way. It's like, no, there's an affiliation here that I'm not feeling good about with my life. So, but yeah, White Lotus, and then watch. You got to find it. I think it's on PBS now.
Doc Martin.
Find Doc Martin and watch an episode.
I've seen some of it. I saw. Yeah. Oh God. One day I ended up marathoning.
I think the lead character is Martin Clune, Clune. And one of the goofballs in Doc Martin, the whatever his name, I can't, Simon or whatever his name, the guy who lives out in the woods who sees people. You know, he's a great. He's the nut job. He's also on Professor T. He's the lead character for another show we watch called Professor T, where he solves crimes, but he's OCD and he wears gloves because he doesn't want to get sick.
Right.
You know that and wonderful character.
Kind of like Monk.
Yeah, wonderful character. So yeah, we're into the British TV thing still. We're still British.
I did that phase 10 probably 10 or 12 years ago, and I've watched pretty much everything out of the British series and absolutely love them better than most of our stuff.
Right.
But I'm getting into a lot of shows. I don't have a lot of time to watch, but when I do, I want to binge something. And there was a show that we just watched that was called Obliterated on Netflix. That was like an old show back in the 90s. It had violence, it had drugs, it had sex, it had everything that made to a really good show, but it was an eight-part series. It was awesome, and it all took place in Vegas. So when I go in there, I'm going to look at the buildings going, oh shit, this is going to happen. No, this is going to happen. And it's just going to be hilarious. And I'll probably quote some of the lines when I'm with you when we're somewhere. But it's a great show, action-packed all the way through. It's unbelievable.
Subtle humor is better than stupid humor.
Yes.
And American television is stupid now.
Well,
yeah,
for Jim, yes.
But from the news all the way through every other episode of everything else, it's all just stupid.
Every once in a while, I can appreciate.
What are you into now? What are you?
Every once in a while, I can appreciate some stupidity.
What?
I said every once in a while, I can appreciate stupidity.
I'm not against it. It's got to be good though.
I don't disagree.
What are you watching?
What's your Villiger report?
So because I've been this is just to enlighten everybody, including you guys. This is my 5th pulpit in 7 days. So
you've been pounding them out.
Your list is short.
So realistically,
so we were 5th. You ranked us 5th.
No. This is when you guys were available to record. No, it's one of
word.
I'll drink to that.
There you go. I really haven't watched anything new since the last time I did this Villiger report, but in terms of shows that I have going right now, I've been watching The Americans, which everybody on here has heard about me talk about already. But for you guys, it's a show. It was on FX. I think there's maybe 5 seasons, but it's about this couple or a family, I should say. They've got 2 kids, but the couple, the mom and the dad, they are Russian KGB sleeper agents, and it's set in the 80s and the Reagan time and everything, and they're doing their little Russian missions, in the United States. And
it was a very interesting show.
I've finished the first season and I've enjoyed it, and I'll keep going. It's one of those Mr. Jonathan gave me some shit about rooting for the commie bastards and everything, but it's one of those things. I mean, that's the characters that you're following, so of course you're kind of invested in them. It's like the Sopranos. They're horrible people, but you want them to win because you're invested in them and everything. But at the same time, they're criminals and they're killing people.
With what your dad said about the British shows, I'm still big into British shows, and there's one I'm watching right now on Netflix that's very good called Hold Tight. And it's very interesting about a missing person. I'm not going to go into it to ruin it like your dad did, but it's another 8-parter, first season, but done very well. There's been a lot of other ones, and it's all about, I'm going to butcher his name, Harlan Coben, the author. This is one of his stories. It's kind of like Safe was another one that from the guy from Dexter was on, and it was an amazing show. But all of those British shows bring a little more, I guess it's for what we're used to, it's just different because it makes them so much more interesting. They might be a little slower, but the stories are so much better.
Yeah.
They don't, there's not things that, they don't put things in there that don't need to be there. They just keep the train of thought in a methodical process of actually what happens, that it becomes very, very realistic, and you actually become part of the show because you feel like you're living with it. And I think that's the difference between American shows and British shows. The British shows want to bring you into the show. The American shows want to keep you on the outside and just make you see a higher view than actually being part of a show. Not saying that one's better than the other. I'm not as opinionated, but I think for different people and the way people like to watch shows are different, just like cigars. People like different things.
You're old enough to become opinionated,
I am old enough to become opinionated.
You're not opinionated by the time you get 55. Fuck it. So, be opinionated, damn it.
I've got 1 year on that, so I'm still growing into it.
His opinion is he likes that stuff other than the other.
Okay.
So, but there's some interesting shows that are out right now that are very good.
There's a show that's it's also a British show that I did watch on Netflix. This was a little while back, but it's called, I think, Afterlife. It's got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
And have you guys watched that at all?
You brought it up to me when you were here, and I did not get to that yet. It's on my queue.
I've seen clips of it. It's happy sad, right?
Yes, it's a very dark comedy. So basically, the concept is
it's sad for him. It's like, but then he twists the humor in there, and you're doing this emotionally with him.
Yeah.
I think Ricky Gervais is a genius. We've talked about comedians in the past.
Yeah.
I think that guy is freaking brilliant.
But he's a newspaper guy, and he goes in, but he's a small town newspaper guy. So he's going and interviewing the people that have, like, I grew a 20-pound tomato in my garden, and like, oh, I got a letter from the Queen for my 100th birthday, and that kind of shit. But at the same time, he's processing the fact that his wife just died of cancer, and all of the mourning and experiences there. So it's a very dark comedy, but it's really interesting. I really liked it.
Did I ever tell you I got a certificate from the governor of Indiana when I turned 65?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You're old now.
Yeah, man. It's someplace.
It just shows they're
getting a thing from the Queen. Not Trump, but winning it is one better. How's that? I hate you. Getting a letter from the Queen is better than a letter from the governor of Indiana.
It just shows they're tracking you.
Duh.
Yeah.
Everybody knows them in town. Yeah, I know.
The one thing I do like about Netflix compared to regular TV is that the shows are only there's only 8 shows per season, but that's also what I hate about them, because you get so invested into that you want them to go longer, because some of them are very good. And there's another one that I watched that was called Fool Me Once, which was really interesting. And you know how you start shows and you see the progression and how it's going, and it doesn't end the way you want it to end?
Yeah.
This show takes that and throws that away. And this is an American show. It actually ends the way it's supposed to end. And you're like, holy shit, an American show did this. It was really, the ending to me was fantastic. It was not what I was expecting because it was an American show, but was so good that I was just like, damn, I hope they could figure out a way of making this a continuation for series 2.
Yeah.
Because it was just so interesting the way they ended it.
Very
Sometimes shows hang on too long though. And the example I will cite there is the American version of House of Cards versus the British version of House of Cards. The British version ended after 3 seasons, and it ended at a proper point. The American version, it was going on the same track as the British one. And when it got to that 3rd season, they zigged, whereas the British one zagged. Yes. And it kept it going because it was a popular show. Right. And look at what ended up happening. Then, Kevin Spacey comes out as a freaking weirdo. And now, we cut him from the last season. And I haven't even watched the last season. I watched the first episode and I was like, this is shit. And I just stopped. And I loved that show up to that point. I like that
show too.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. There are some shows that have gone way too long.
The Wire on HBO, another show. Fantastic. That last season, I'm not as into.
I know you like this show, or someone who used to be on your show like this show. The difference between the British version of The Office and the American version of The
Office. Totally.
Well, I know that. I've
totally different beasts.
Yes.
Totally different. And the American one should have ended when Steve Carell left. It held on 2 seasons too long.
So then that was my point. The British know when to stop a show. We don't. We just go to capitalize.
Well, that's exactly it, man. It's the money. Yeah. So, well, very cool. Well,
see, you got some Villiger report out of us.
My God,
didn't we?
Who knew? Well, that's good because I really didn't have a whole lot to add with, given the fact that I haven't really added time to watch much of anything. So before we kind of wrap up here, I need to talk about My Monthly Cigars, and it's a premium cigar subscription service where you guys can get a shipment of cigars sent to your door every month. I get the Robusto box, which is 4 cigars for $30. You can also get the El Presidente, which is 8 cigars, 2 of everything in the Robusto box for $50. And if you use offer code PULPIT, PULPIT, you get free shipping on your first box. But that's also where you can get some fucking good coffee if you'd like. They have the Daily Press, which is the Pulpit blend, and the Lounge blend, and all kinds of other blends over there at My Monthly Cigars. And you can get in on that. So head on over there and give it a try. So I don't have the button synced up, so you don't get Pinky this time. So although now that I think about it, I don't have the button synced up, so I don't have Pinky's fun fact, so I'll have to tack that on to the end again. But that's okay. We'll do that.
You don't get interrupted by Pinky?
Not today.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a Pinky fun fact, a barcode. They're reading the white bands, not the black bands.
Do what now?
A barcode. When you scan a barcode, it's reading the white bands, not the black bands.
Oh, not the black line, the white. Oh, interesting. There you go.
I know.
Useless information. He's fantastic for it.
However,
I know.
With that being said,
I know.
Your future imminent lapel pin collection.
Oh my! It increased. It increased. Your inheritance increased today.
Boom,
I bet it.
Boy.
I bet it did.
I got you, man.
Well, yeah, it was a race. Of course, he had to get another lapel pin.
Right.
I know.
I'm gonna have to count these lapel pins sometime because you got to be over 100 of them now.
Oh my gosh!
You're putting them on suspenders so you can wear them.
Yeah, just for your listeners' understanding, I've been collecting lapel pins from useless bullshit for years. Companies, events. Every time I go to an IndyCar race, lapel pin. Yellowstone Park, lapel pin. All these lapel pins are all in a cigar box, and I'm leaving it to Nick. When I die, he's inheriting my lapel pin collection.
It's my flair.
Not as enthused about it as I would have hoped, but when he opens that box and it's just those, he'll go, shit.
You know what?
An awful lot of stuff.
Thanks, Dad.
Right?
One day I'm gonna be rocking a lapel pin. Like right there.
What we're going to start doing is we're going to start sending you one every now and then. You're going to have to wear them on the show, so you don't have to show them all at the same time.
You know, I was gonna say I'd be branded up like a NASCAR driver, and it might be appropriate given the fact that a lot of these are from not NASCAR races, but
you'll never get a NASCAR lapel pin from me.
I know I won't. I know I won't.
That's the only thing that made my skin itch. Walking around Daytona Speedway,
Yeah.
NASCAR everywhere. But I will say,
hold on a sec. Your dad caved at the very end as we're walking out. Tell him what you said.
I don't remember now.
He said, "You know something? I'm an Indy fan and I love it, but this place makes Indy look what?
Like shit." This Speedway, son, is amazing.
Really?
No, this Speedway is amazing. Every seat has got a seat back and a cup holder.
Oh, see, now that's nice.
No, but here's the difference. The Indy Speedway, Indy Motor Speedway holds maximum capacity is 400,000 people. This is only 168,000. Okay. We have snow and ice. They don't have that shit here.
Yeah.
But you walk through this Speedway, my God. Televisions everywhere, restaurants everywhere. The bathrooms are clean. Every seat is a plastic seat with a back. I mean, it's really nice.
Fun
fact. It's just sadly wasted on NASCAR. Like, get it to Indianapolis, damn it. Roger Penske, take notes. And he was here. He was hugging,
Seatbacks would be really nice.
Huh?
Seatbacks would be very nice.
Wouldn't it though? I know.
So nice.
Some seats have them there, but not all of them.
Yeah.
We've got the metal bar seat back. It's like, that's comfortable after done.
Do we?
Minutes. We haven't. Yeah, we got a metal bar seat back. Yeah.
In both sets of seats? Because we do the race.
I don't believe we have them for the Grand Prix.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel like there's at least one race. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've got it for Tower Terrace because Tower Terrace along the pit row where we sit, those are little metal seat backs. But yeah,
that's right. That's right. Because I always kind of have my knees kind of in the one in front of me.
These are like individual plastic seats. You sit down there,
and you actually have leg room too, which is nice.
Nice.
Oh,
so, yeah,
that's
monstrously impressed with the facility, underlying facility, not underlying.
Actually, I will say Indy is doing something really cool. I've been getting ads for it on Facebook. So this year, for people that are into the space stuff, there's going to be another total eclipse.
Yes.
And Indy is opening up the speedway to come and
working
watch the eclipse
with NASA.
Really?
That's a big deal.
Wait, is it in the path of totality?
Yeah, they're on the path.
We are dead center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hotels are sold out. Good luck finding a hotel for next April 7th.
Okay.
Huh? Or this April 7th. Yeah. Yeah, NASA's got astronauts going and astronomers and shit, and Purdue University's got people. And no, this is a big deal. You can go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and watch the sun disappear as long as it's not cloudy that day.
Yes.
And now they're already saying, well, even if it is cloudy, you can still feel sun. No, you can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're dead center on this friggin' thing, and it's a big deal. No, this is a big deal because NASA only selected certain locations, and Indianapolis Motor Speedway, from what I gather, is dead center on this thing. So that's going to be a big deal in town.
Hotels so 7 years ago in 2017, when the eclipse happened,
we were in Fort Lauderdale getting ready to go on a cruise when that one went over. Yeah,
Carbondale was in the path of totality
in the stadium there. Yeah.
In fact, they had a concert with Ozzy Osbourne. They did a Bark at the Moon concert with Ozzy Osbourne in Carbondale, Illinois, of all places.
That's the epicenter of Merck.
I mean, I guess, but it's also in the path again this year,
right?
And
kind of to the side,
slightly, but
I was
still
in
very
Greenville,
close.
South Carolina for the last 2017, and we were right on the path as well.
Yeah,
and that was pretty impressive to see.
I have my eclipse glasses.
Yep, I did. Mine fell off as I was looking at it, and that did not help my eyesight.
I'm actually looking at buying a solar filter for my camera.
Oh, to take the
so I can see if I
turn into a little Japanese person taking freaking photos.
Oh no, that's you went there, didn't you? You know, I'm probably going home. No exaggeration. I burned up 3 SD cards. Yeah, I did 1,800, 2,000 photos maybe.
Oh, I know he likes taking his race photos.
Oh, the night shots are great. The night shots are beautiful. And I got the fireworks at 10 p.m. and all that shit. So yeah, there's a lot of pictures going to be shared out. And I will select maybe 10 and put on my Instagram for all of my followers.
Well, I know Teddy follows you. Shout out to Teddy.
Yeah, I love Teddy. Oh, by the way, before we move on, pick a friggin' date for Pulpit Fest.
Pulpit Fest.
Get the damn date out, but it cannot be September 20th through the 22nd. Cannot be that weekend because that's the IMSA race at Indianapolis.
Oh shit.
Okay? So priorities. So pick a Pulpit Fest date. Get that damn date out there, and Teddy, get it on your calendar, Teddy. You're going to be there. I've got this chucklehead planning. He's got to be there.
I've got to know.
I may even make it. And if you start marketing this thing and people can put it on their calendars, we'll make it worth their while.
See, I originally I kind of had tentatively already set out the 20 through 22nd. But you make a val, and I'll be honest,
Indianapolis at the Speedway.
And I'll be honest, I'm getting a lot of pressure on that date because October 5th, so 2 weeks after that weekend, is the Kentucky Barn Smoker for the Drew Estate Kentucky Barn Smoker, and I feel like that's really close.
Barn Smoker.
Yeah, there's some people that I know are interested in the Barn Smoker, and I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna make it to both. So which one are they gonna pick? And this is me and my
they will pick Pulpit Fest.
Hold on.
See, this is me and my insecurity. I'm sitting back saying,
why don't you do Pulpit Fest in Kentucky this year and have everyone join together?
Oh, because I feel like that's going to get complicated.
You'd have to rename it. It would be like Pulpit Fest.
I'd have to be like Pulpit Fest, Drew Estate, Exactly.
So
everybody
with get a date, figure it out,
sticks and their pacifiers out there dancing.
Get the date let everybody this year, all your listeners, we love you guys. Get the damn Pulpit Fest on your calendar and be there because it's going to be
we're going to look forward to meeting you all.
It'll be fun. Just as long as it's not September 20th.
August can get awful warm.
Yeah.
But that's my only
Start
thing.
pondering on that.
Yeah, because then October gets sketchy with weather.
Questionable. The weekend before whatever, do the math. The 13th, the weekend before the 20th. Yeah, huh?
I can't that weekend.
Okay, never mind. The weekend before that.
It would be. I was gonna say Labor Day weekend would maybe. I don't know if that's.
Nobody's doing anything on Labor Day.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think Labor Day weekend is a good one.
We'll figure out.
Yeah, we may have to figure this out. When is the race in St. Louis in August?
That's August.
Yeah, is that the 24th?
Oh, you're asking me a day?
That's my birthday weekend. August 25th. That would be my birthday. That would be a great gift.
Nobody gives a shit about that. Oh, your birthday is not a fucking national holiday, right?
I feel like August 24th would settle in right around the time of that race in St. Louis there. Because that would be an option. Otherwise, we'd be pushing to like August 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Or pick some time in August and let them experience
the heat.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be coming to St. Louis in August, you're going to experience the humidity and the heat. Yeah, that's for sure. But
looking at the IndyCar thing for St. Louis.
We'll talk this through. We'll figure this out.
We'll get this thing hammered down.
All right. Well, guys, for those of you who went ahead and penciled in September 20th through 22nd, I think this is finally me making my decision that it's not going to be that weekend. So, well, hold off on those dates. I also have Mr. Jonathan bugging the hell out of me about coming to that New England Cigar Festival.
He needs to be at that. August 17th is the race over in St. Louis.
Ooh, the 17th. Ooh, okay.
That's a Saturday. Remember, it's going back to Saturday night.
Yes. Oh, and that's going to be so much better than that daytime race.
I think Mr. Jonathan should show up and be a guest speaker.
Boy, August 23rd through the 25th is looking kind of attractive.
That sounds like a good weekend to me. I can't think of any reason why not.
I mean, other than the fact that it'll be 106 and sweaty as shit, but
such is life. It'll be nice. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I got to find a facility or something. I mean, I know
we'll work on that weekend.
I know an outdoor facility, but I need to find an indoor.
He can help.
It's the cigars that pose the issue.
You can get a tent out in the parking lot of any hotel.
That's true. Okay.
So
All right. Well, guys,
I gotta tell you, quick hand.
Okay.
Sitting outside last night, had a cigar after the race before I went back down to the track. And I'm sitting out there enjoying myself, and there were a bunch of little kids, like little squirts, I don't know, 4 and 5 years old. And there's maybe half a dozen of them, and they're like jumping in the pool, getting out, jumping in the pool, getting out. And I'm about, I don't know, 25, 30 feet away, just kind of listening to the giggling and the bullshit. And they started playing Marco Polo. But wait,
it gets better.
They changed games. They started playing toilet.
Oh no.
And the little boy goes, I'm poop. And he jumped in. And the little girl goes, I'm poop. And she jumps in. And they were playing toilet. They're each little poops and they're jumping into the water. And I thought, that's pretty good. I like that.
Were they floating or were they sinking?
Oh, I wasn't watching. I didn't.
Because that depends on the amount of
out again.
That depends on the amount of fat that you consume today.
And I thought, that's our future.
I mean,
right?
It is.
I thought that was great. Little kids are creative. Let's play toilet. I'm poop.
I'm poop.
Yes, you are.
Oh my God.
Sure, your parents are proud.
Oh, all right. Well, final thoughts on your Partagas, guys.
I love this damn cigar, and I am very, very thrilled to have it again. This is the second time I've ever had this thing, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I asked all over floor, but it is Ashenale, so who cares? I like this thing.
Leave it to your dad.
Well,
Ken's a good host. He'll sweep up.
Well, somebody will.
Someone has to.
Justin left.
Yeah. As of this, after I leave here, I'm not back for over a week because I'm in Vegas all next week. So
I was gonna say, so real quick before we depart, I know he kind of touched on it, but what you and I are gonna be hanging out at TPE. I know this comes out technically afterwards, but whatever, screw him. What are you looking forward to with the show? This is your first time going to TPE, correct?
This is very much an exploratory show. I'm really looking forward to seeing the differences between PCA, which I went to for the first time last year, and TPE this year. But I'm also looking forward to seeing the behind. I guess we're blues. Cigars are blue, and everything else is red.
No, we're red, and everybody else is blue.
Okay,
but whatever.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the other side because to me that world is just so interesting.
Oh, dude, there's so much wacky shit on that other side. I think Tommy Chong's going to be at the show.
Fun fact, Brad Pitt was at the races with us. He was filming a movie.
God.
He says hi. He sends his best.
He sends his best.
Oh, well, shit. Okay. I hear he doesn't wear deodorant.
I didn't know he knew you, but apparently he's a fan.
Your dad got a tattoo of him on his shoulder.
On my ass.
Oh, okay. I hear he doesn't wear deodorant.
I've heard that.
I have not.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, anyway.
Quick anecdote. Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
He's producing this movie apparently, and this guy's like some famous Hollywood producer.
Oh yeah, Bruckheimer's done a lot of shit.
He did the Gentleman Start Your Engine thing. They announced him, Jerry Bruckheimer, blah, 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 is going to say the most famous 4 words in racing. Start your engines.
He literally sounded just like that.
That was it. Start your engines. And he turned around and walked away.
He forgot the word gentleman.
It's like, that's not 4 words, you idiot. And start your engines is not exactly a motivating comment.
He needed a shit ton of explosions to be going off in order for him to feel motivated.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
And then he got into the pace car and led the whole opening 2 laps.
Start your engines. 4 words.
Oh
please.
My.
Start your engines, please.
Please.
Now.
Guys.
You jackwad. Can't even do 4 words. And this guy's making a movie. I could be
a
That's why he's behind the scenes. I tried telling your dad that at the race. He's behind the scenes. He's not in front of the camera.
No, you know his movies. I mean, and basically anything that has massive explosions. I mean, he probably had something to do with it.
You know, with what we've just talked about, how your dad loves NASA and space stuff. He likes your show better because he just literally missed a rocket launch 3 minutes ago.
Oh, well, shit.
All right, they were launching more Starlink satellites, which you know that I like watching.
Yeah, you track those.
Yeah, they just launched more Starlinks at 6:15.
Oh, well,
And he said,
shit.
well, go out the back door. You can see it. It's like, nah, I'm on air. I'm good.
Well, crap. You should have said something. We could
Yeah,
have
I
cut
love
this
you
short.
so much that I passed over watching a Starlink rocket go up.
Oh, well.
It probably exploded
Oh, shut.
and probably like shit everywhere. And I won't know until after we're done here.
You'll go out to the car and the car's just a flaming
Right?
fire. Yeah. Be like, oh,
And he didn't buy the insurance on the rental car.
All these little orphans are all dead because it all came down and landed on an orphanage and killed all
In
those
all
little
fairness-
kids.
in
And
all
everybody's going,
fairness,
doesn't worry, that's all right. They don't have parents, nobody cares. But
I
it's
did-
just sad.
He's
Yeah.
trying to say something.
I was just gonna say, in all fairness, I only did the liability on my rental car.
Did you get to see a rocket launch when you were here?
No, I was going to, and they had to push it back a couple hours.
I
And
couldn't
so I
remember.
would've been-
That's right.
I'd have been sitting on the beach for like 3 hours at that point.
That's right.
I kind of called it.
Everybody in their lifetime needs to see a rocket launch once.
Oh, I'd like to see one.
It's awe-inspiring. It's amazingly cool. It really is. So, all right.
Well, neat. Well,
What else
guys,
you
thank
got?
you so much for your time. This was
You want to
great.
talk about churches and taxes? We'll do that next time.
Next time you're on,
Yeah.
you teased that a couple times.
Yeah, I mentioned it to him. He goes, "Oh yeah, that'll be good."
I wouldn't be part of that conversation.
Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
I'm Ken.
I'm Dad.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky.
Stay smoky, guys.
All righty.
Well, that was a hoot. At least you got the tech.